In today's video, we will discuss about deductions under Section 24 and Section 25 to Section 27 of the Income Tax Act. Now let us see deductions under Section 24. They are under Section 24A, a standard deduction which is at the rate of 30% of the net annual value, and under Section 24B, interest on borrowed capital. Now let us see three scenarios where you have self-occupied property, property given on rent, and deemed to be let out property. Here the gross annual value, in the case of self-occupied property it is nil. In the case of property given on rent, it is the actual rent received, and in the case of deemed to be let out property, it will be the reasonable rent in that area. Municipal taxes, in case of self-occupied property you cannot claim any deduction. In the case of property given on the rent and deemed to be let out property, you can claim the deduction of municipal taxes, which will give you the net annual value of the property. Then there will be a standard deduction under Section 24A, which will be not applicable in the case of self-occupied property. It will be 30% of NAV in the case of property given on rent and deemed to be let out property. Now very important here is your interest on borrowed capital. In the case of self-occupied property, it is allowed up to a maximum of rupees 2 lakhs only. Whereas in the case of property given on rent and deemed to be let out property, it will be the actual interest paid which will be allowed as a deduction. So there is no cap of rupees 2 lakh. Whatever interest is paid will be allowed as a deduction. Now let us understand what is pre-construction interest. Pre-construction period is the period prior to the previous year in which the property is acquired or construction is completed. When the assessee has taken a loan for the purchase or construction of a house property, he can claim a deduction on pre-construction interest of up to rupees 2 lakh in 5 equal installments starting from the year in which the house is purchased or construction is completed. However, this is not allowed in the case of loan which is taken for repairs or reconstruction. Let us see an example. For example, if the construction of the property is completed in financial year 22-23, that it is completed on 25th of June 2022, and the pre-construction interest is rupees 2,50,000 up to 31st March 2022, then the assessee can claim deduction of 1/5 of interest of up to a maximum of rupees 2 lakhs paid up to 31st March 2022 in the returns filed from financial year 22-23 till financial year 26-27. That is, the deduction of rupees 40,000 per year for 5 years can be taken by the assessee. Section 25A talks about arrears of rent. The arrears of rent will be taxable in the year in which it is received, irrespective of the fact whether the assessee is the owner of the property or not in that financial year. A sum equal to 30% of the arrears of rent or unrealized rent shall be allowed as a deduction. Section 26 talks about co-ownership of the property. In the case of self-occupied property, the annual value for each co-owner will be nil, and the interest of up to rupees 2 lakh is available to each co-owner. In the case of let out property, the income from such property shall be computed as if the property is owned by one owner, and thereafter the income so computed shall be apportioned among each co-owner as per their specific share. Deemed ownership. This is given in section 27. The following persons, though not legal owner of the property, shall be deemed to be the owners. That is, transferor of the property, where the property is transferred to a spouse or to a minor child, except minor married daughter without adequate consideration. That means if there is a transfer of property from a husband to a housewife without any consideration, the income from that house property will be treated as income of the husband and not of the wife. Then holder of an impartial estate shall be deemed to be the individual owner of all the properties comprised in the estate, the member of a cooperative society, person in possession of the property, and person having right in the property for a period of not less than 12 years will be deemed to be the owner of the property. This completes income from house property. Thank you. If you like the video, please click on the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel.